My guest on the program is Mr. Wadata Bodinga, the Director General of the Directorate for Road Traffic Services. His office regulates traffic and public transportation in the FCT. He agrees it's time to think outside the box and has plans that he says will handle Abuja's traffic and public transportation problem before the end of this year. He is joining the call for rails and bus rapid transit systems to begin immediately in the nation's capital. Welcome to Dateline, Mr. Bodinga.
Thank you so very much.
So this is the Directorate of Road Traffic Services.
Yeah.
And you're the Director General. How old has this office been in existence? How long has this office been in existence?
This office has been in existence from the time the Federal Capital Territory, that is Abuja Ministry, was created. It started as a division and rise to a directorate in 2003, and since then it has always been referred to Directorate of Road Traffic Services, and the regulation was formulated in 2005 to give it that status.
So how long have you been Director General here?
Well, I've been here as acting capacity sometimes 2016, and then later I was confirmed in 2018, and since then I have been here.
So you basically look at road traffic in the FCT.
Yeah.
You've been at this job for a while. Has there been a mutation? Has there been a change? Because from the standpoint of a citizen, it feels like there has been a change. Like there's more traffic now. It used to be the outskirts, but now within the city center, and then some particular hot points. Tell me what changes you've noticed in the in traffic in the FCT.
Yeah, as you are aware that Abuja is actually the fastest growing city, and this development is not only limited to just human traffic, including vehicular traffic. People are trooping into Abuja for greener pasture, and you can see it's evident everywhere. And from the characteristics of the Abuja traffic, you can see that most of the traffic are actually coming into the city and then going out, because it's a two-way traffic in the city. People are coming in the morning, and in the evening they are going out. That is very different to what is happening, for example, in Lagos, where the traffic revolves around the city almost.
So housing has a role to play here, because most people live outside of the city center in Abuja, as opposed to Lagos, where everyone kind of stays in the city center.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you're saying that's part of what's
that is part of
our own special rhythm of traffic.
Special demography of traffic, yeah, certainly. And that has come with a lot of challenges, because when you have a traffic moving in one direction at the same time, except that we are lucky in the FCT that we have a lot of infrastructure. In cities, if it is if to our other states, that would have been impossible, because the volume of the traffic and the capacity of the road carriage would have been impossible for people to access the city. But if you look at the Kubwa, as well as the Lubi Axis Road, you will see that the road capacity is almost 10 length put together. That's supposed to be there. So that means that the road has the capacity to carry the vehicular movement as they are coming in. But however, as they come into the city, the road continues to compress. And because of that, definitely you sometimes experience a little snail movement. Definitely is not hardly in the city you will see hold off, like what is happening in other mega cities. But you sometimes have a snail movement which is not literally called hold off. And most of those areas, we earmark them, and you always see our men are there trying to control the traffic and ensure that people reach their destination not only safely but also timely.
So let's talk a bit about some of those hot points. Recently,
yes,
the Nyanya axis was in the news. People had to sleep in town on that day, because the holdup. I think a trailer had fallen on.
Yeah, a tanker.
A tanker had fallen.
Yeah.
And of course, it's raised a lot of questions about the access road into that part of the FCT. People are calling for the Apokarishi road to be fixed. You know, they're saying it has to be done immediately. We cannot continue like this. In fact, that particular Nyanya axis, many people who come to work from Nyanya try to get back to Nyanya before 4 o'clock because they know that if they're in that holdup, you're going to be stuck there for a long time. What's being done about that situation? And why is it so bad there?
Like what I told you, if you look at, this is simple mathematics. If you look at the road that is connecting, for example, Zuba, Kubwa road coming down, and you talk about the one that is coming from Gwagwalada axis down to the city, you can see the road capacity with that of Yanyan is very different. From our counts, taking away those indices, even the movement of people coming into the city is almost half of the people are actually coming from that axis. So confile with the fact that the road capacity is not that big. You
said that twice. When you say road capacity, what do you mean?
I mean the width.
So not enough lanes.
It does it. But
how many lanes do you think would be sufficient?
Definitely should be like that of Kubwa.
So 10.
Yeah, and they are doing, you can see that work is in progress. But because of, construction usually take time, and these issues we have to continue to manage them together with other agencies. And I will tell you that truly, except the other incident that happened that day, the movement even along Yanyan Road has really subsidized from what we used to know. Because, in the past, the holdup used to escalate up to Powerhouse Junction. From that Powerhouse Junction off to, but with the opening of this Goodluck Jonathan by the Minister of FCT, all those issues to a certain extent has reduced. So let's come back to the issue of what happened in Yanya. That can normally happen in any road, because once you have a traffic standstill of 5 minutes, then what that will cause is about traffic gridlock of about 3 to 4 hours. So you can imagine when you have a gridlock, a whole tanker blocking the road for about an hour or 2, then you know what that means. And that is unfortunately the situation. Before we move in there to remove the truck, it is already, the traffic has already built up, and that is what has caused the problem. And you remember one thing again, the impatience too. Some people decided to start taking one way and block the people that are coming. And before you know, it's a big problem. So our personnel have to even leave the other end and come back to Abuja Barrack and start sending these people that have done one way. That time there is no need to arrest anybody. It's just to, how do we find a way? And our personnel left that place around 4:30 a.m. and come back, just 30 minutes. They just go to take their baths and come back, because by 5 a.m. they are already back. But by the special grace of God in the morning, everything has subsidized, because people thought that if the relevant traffic agencies have not been there to actually do their job diligently, what has happened that day, even the hold-up was escalated up to next day. But because our people are very diligent, they were there, and that thing was abated.
All right. Well, Mr. Bodinga, you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much for being on Dateline.
Thank you so very much, and thank you for having me.